More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. My name is Brandon Walker here on a gray and rainy Monday morning in Atlanta, Georgia. The SEC Country Studios. I've got the Trekking crew on the other side of the glass. I've got my Bulldog fans coming in. A surprisingly good weekend for Mississippi State. I was not expecting that. I was dreading. I didn't even talk about Mississippi State baseball last week. I was dreading Mississippi State hosting Ole Miss, the number 3 team in the country. They're not the number 3 team in the country. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Mississippi State takes 2 out of 3 from Ole Miss and takes the final game in dramatic fashion on a walk-off. Terrific stuff. Hey, Terp, how you doing?
Well.
You're doing well.
Thank
Good.
You.
Remember last week when you asked me who was going to win the Masters? Who did I say?
You said Patrick Reed.
I did say that.
Did he win?
He did.
He did.
Did you watch it all day yesterday?
Yeah, I watched it all weekend.
I only watched. I watched the entire round yesterday. I watched some Saturday.
Saturday was a great
Saturday
game.
was good, but I thought Rory was going to beat him at the very beginning, but
Yeah.
it was clear
When he missed that eagle putt,
you knew Rory didn't have it. And I wish somebody had caught him to make it really interesting.
Yeah.
But Spieth got close.
Fowler was close.
Yeah.
But Reed was hitting everything.
Yeah, but all he had to do was shoot even par. I mean, he went 1 under yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he started at 14, finished at 15.
Mm-hmm.
So he did all of his work, Friday and Saturday. All right, that's boring. Now, Mississippi State beats Ole Miss in baseball. That's something fun. Mississippi State has a couple of transfers, one in football, a couple in basketball. We'll talk about that going forward. Hail State from Eupora, Mississippi, instead of Seymour, Indiana, painting my dad's foyer. Well, hello, Gina Stedman Clarity. Good to see you in Webster County over there in Eupora. Great way to celebrate my birthday yesterday with a walk-off to beat Ole Miss. Jay Hammers, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Jay. I know somebody's got a birthday this week. Anybody know who's got a birthday this week?
Whose birthday is it?
This guy.
Nice.
Although we won't have a show on my birthday because we don't do a Friday show.
Yep.
Hello, Blair Chandler. Paula Smallwood Dobbs says, I was there on Saturday, walked the course with Spieth and Johnson. I did not want Reed to win. Read comments from Georgia folks about Reed. Yeah, I wanted Reed to win because I think golf needs more villains. Every sport needs a jackass. Every sport needs somebody to root against. And that's kind of why I wanted Patrick Reed to win. I mean, how boring would football be if we liked everybody? If we didn't dislike somebody. Can we get the video of the walk-off on repeat? Boyd Barnett. The video of the walk-off is coming, yes. Yes, it's coming. Hail State from the Dirty Delta, Shaw, Mississippi, Jeff and Crystal Gordon. Good morning from Summerall. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, Betty Anderson. Hail State from Mayhew says Traquan Key. Mayhew representing. Mayhew, Mississippi, down there just south of, between West Point and Macon, I guess. Right around the 82 interchange. Good morning and go Dogs from Baldwin, Mississippi. Brian Sisk is back after taking care of a wife after surgery. I hope she's okay. I hope your wife is on the road to recovery. Point City. Hail State from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Donnie Caffey checking in this morning. Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm big in Wyoming. Quit making that face. You're distracting me. I'm big in Wyoming. Kingsport, Tennessee. Richard Reif this morning. Victoria Vivians has been invited to NYC for the WNBA draft. Looks like the team in Dallas is showing interest in her. Amy Hall. Yeah, she's going to be a top 10 pick. Good for her. Good for her. Hail State from Tupelo. Hail State from Greenwood. Grace Thacker Good in Greenwood. Justin Russell in Tupelo. Adrian Page from the Port City, which I don't know where that is. The Port City. Is that Vicksburg? What is the Port City? Is it Natchez? So it's got to be something on the river, right? You're big everywhere. Thank you, Blair Chandler. Thank you. Walk-off was I missed that one. Hail State from Indiana. Guess what? Says Jeremiah Body. Well, I'm guessing it has something to do with more cowbell, Jeremiah. I am still sick, but I'm fighting through it. Walk-off was great, but most satisfying play was pickoff of Dillard attempting to steal second in the top of the 11th. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Ole Miss. I don't like Ole Miss. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I enjoy beating Ole Miss, and especially when they come into town, number 3 in the country, they're riding high. You know, they're all this good, and they're really not all that good. I mean, They can't field. They can't really pitch it. I mean, it just – I don't know. Wyoming always needs more cowbell, Brandon. Don't let anyone tell you any different. I'm glad Matt Wyatt got to go to the Masters. He's cool, says Tim Franks. Yeah, I'm glad no players were distracted by the glare off his head. I guess he probably wore a hat. So good for him. A lot of emojis right now. That's just Lewis Williamson just throwing up emojis. That's great. All right, we're going to talk about Mississippi State baseball beating Ole Miss. We're going to talk about Brandon Bryant transferring, what it means. We're going to talk about 2 more basketball players transferring, what that means. 2-minute drill at the end of the show. Patrick, are you ready?
It's the More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, Brandon Walker, More Cowbell. Excuse me. Hold on. Got caught up in my cord over there. Got my bell caught up in my computer cord. That happens every now and then. My name is Brandon Walker. You're watching More Cowbell, a Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Coming to you from the SEC Country studios here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Got the Shrekking crew on the other side of the glass. Got them 3 deep today. They are doing the work of 1. So good for you guys. I really appreciate you sitting in there and texting and playing Candy Crush. And Patrick, get off a Tinder, please. So yeah, good to have all of you here. Mississippi State, big weekend. I was not expecting Mississippi State to win that series. I was not expecting Mississippi State to treat number 3 Ole Miss like the unwelcome guests they were. I was scared. I was scared Ole Miss was going to come in and sweep us. We haven't played well. We haven't won an SEC series yet, and I'm stupid because Mississippi State wins 2 out of 3, including the last game on a walk-off home run against Ole Miss. Fantastic stuff. Love it. Love beating Ole Miss. Love winning baseball series. It was a perfect storm this weekend in Starkville. Brandon Bryant, former safety for Mississippi State football, transferring. We'll talk about him in just a second, what that means. A couple of more players transferring off the men's basketball team. We'll talk about what that means on down the line. I don't think either of those 3 transfers, really affects anything wholesale next season, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how the chess pieces align on the board, and then we'll have a 2-minute drill at the end of the show. I'm wearing beautiful maroon shoes. Don't show them because I'm actually not wearing maroon shoes, but if I were, they would be from Maroon & Company, at Maroon & Company on Twitter, at Maroon & Co., excuse me, and maroonandco.com. It's where I got this beautiful junction bell. I'll ring that bell real quick. That's a good-looking bell. Love that bell right there, at Maroon & Company. So, Mississippi State plays Ole Miss in baseball. Ole Miss comes in number 3. They come in with their chest sticking out. They're number 3. They got all their beat writers there. Everybody's excited. They're making fun of our pajama uniforms, and they never get out of bed. They never wake up. Mississippi State wins 2 out of 3. You know what? I glossed over that, but the fact that Yancey Porter made fun of our uniforms yesterday is not lost on me. And I've written out 78 Yancey jokes. None of them are PG. Can't say them, but what a loser that guy is. Anyway, my name is Brandon Walker. We're going to go ahead and talk about Mississippi State. We're going to talk about beating Ole Miss 2 out of 3 games. So, kill them on Friday. What was the final score? 13-3, something like that. That was unexpected. The first game Saturday because it was a doubleheader. Kill them on Saturday, unexpected. Ole Miss comes back and wins the second game 6-1, and you're going into the rubber match on Sunday. And I'm wondering, can State pull this off? It hasn't been a good year. You had the Andy Cannizaro stuff. You haven't won a series yet. It just hasn't been our year in baseball. This would be nice. This would be a nice feeling. And lo and behold, this team showed the toughness. They came out. They were down 5-4 going to the bottom of the ninth. They tied up and go, a couple of extra innings. And Luke Alexander comes up with 1 man on, and this happens. Oh, my gosh.
Fly ball in
Well, no wonder he hit it. It was right down the middle.
Dillard
A bomb. I love the left fielder just running out. It takes a lot of nerve to call our uniforms pajamas when they're wearing that Fruit Loop stuff. Look at that stuff. Look at those uniforms right there. Look like a tube of Aquafresh. But there's the walk-off home run. Mississippi State celebrating. Yeah, that's great. Am I talking over audio right now? Did you have the audio playing? Okay, good. So that was fantastic. Luke Alexander with a bomb to walk it off against Ole Miss. Jake Mangum 5 for 5, I believe, in the game. And I don't know if this leads to anything for Mississippi State. I know I wasn't expecting that. We came in limping. Ole Miss came in as number 3 team in the country. They're not number 3. All right. It's easy to see that. They can't field. Their pitching's just okay. I mean, they can hit, but they have been living on a bunch of one-run victories, and that's not the number 3 team in the country. That's not even close to it. They might be top 15, but knocking them down a peg was satisfying. It was satisfying. It's always fun to beat Ole Miss. Maybe this is the spark this team needs. They've been through so much. Andy Cannizaro leaving the first weekend, having to resign in disgrace. Gary Henderson not really picking up where Andy Cannizaro left off last year. You've had, several things go wrong. You've had series that were winnable, and then maybe mistakes or whatever add up, and you don't win them. But now you come home and you beat the number 3 team in the country. At least that's the number by their ranking. Maybe this is the spark this team needs going into the back half of this schedule. Now, I don't think this is certainly not a championship team. It's not a team that's going to go deep into the postseason, but it's a team that can prepare for the future. It's a team that can get things going. You're still going to be opening this stadium wholesale next year. You're still going to have a new coach. It's a team that can get the momentum started, and it feels like that might have happened yesterday. It feels like it's possible that happened yesterday. Now, Brandon Bryant is a safety, or was a safety, for the Mississippi State football team. He's had some issues for a little while now. Last season didn't play all that well, and then Joe Moorhead gets hired, and then you hear that he's not practicing in the spring. There's maybe some academic issues. He's got to get settled before he gets out to practice, and he's not there with the team. And it's just been lingering and lingering and lingering, and finally yesterday, Brandon Bryant, the safety, he's from somewhere in the Delta. The safety transfers. He announces that he is transferring, doesn't announce where he's going yet, but he is leaving Mississippi State. You don't like to see any transfers. I mean, attrition is not pleasant. It's necessary, but it's not pleasant, and it happens, but it's not pleasant. And anytime you have a new coach come in, a new regime, new rules, maybe the way things happened in the past aren't acceptable anymore. Or maybe a guy just doesn't see a path to the playing time he used to have. Or maybe he just doesn't jive with the new staff, so he decides to seek his fortunes elsewhere. Now, I'm not going to talk that much about Brandon Bryant. He never really, as a redshirt freshman, he was one of the best players on the team. He was outstanding. He showed speed, that famous 4.25 speed. He was very good in the defensive secondary. And he never really lived up after that to that 2015 performance. So I won't talk about him. I mean, he's going to go somewhere. Good luck to him. But now that leaves that's one less player in the secondary for Mississippi State. The secondary is not a great spot to be losing talent, but safety might be okay here. You look at the tandem that's going to be there. Mark McLaurin, poised for a big senior year. I think he had a good junior season, great bowl game. Mark McLaurin is every bit the player we need back there. Jonathan Abram. He had times last season where I thought he was one of the best players on the field. Then he had times where he looked lost, frankly. But Jonathan Abram, with a year under his belt in the SEC as a full-time starter, I think he's ready to go. I think the McLaurin-Abram tandem is pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't think either guy's going to make all SEC, but they might be a notch below that. They're really, really good. If you can supplement that with Jaquarius Landrews, Brian Cole, and then throw in Marcus Murphy, who has been practicing there. Marcus Murphy from Point City, who is an athlete who they have been practicing at safety. I assume that Brandon Bryant's situation before now is what led to Marcus Murphy practicing at safety instead of cornerback. But now you got 5 guys who I think can play, including the top 2 who are really, really good. It's thin. Brandon Bryant takes away some depth. He takes away some luxury there. But ultimately, I think you're okay. I think you're good enough at safety, but you're not great. You're not great. And Brandon Bryant leaving does take away that safety valve of, if one guy gets hurt, if Abram gets hurt or McLaurin gets hurt, you would feel good plugging Brandon Bryant in there. But he is leaving. He is leaving. So I wonder if I hope this is the end. But again, with Joe Moorhead in, implementing new rules, new practice regime, new everything, are other guys going to say, you know what, I had it better under the old staff, let me get out of here? I hope not. I hope not. Everybody seems to be on board. I'm certainly on board with what Joe Moorhead is doing. But it bears watching as we go through the last couple of weeks of the spring here. Also, transfer news on the basketball side. Xavier Stapleton, Eli Wright, both transferring. So I don't even think this is depth lost. I think this is, and this is not to disrespect Stapleton or Eli Wright, but let me make sure I put it the right way because I don't want to seem like I'm disrespecting them. I think Stapleton brings good things to the table. I think Eli Wright brings good things to the table. I had Richard Williams, the former basketball coach for Mississippi State, on my show early this season. And he said one thing that helped him when he was building that first SEC championship team is he brought in 7 freshmen one year, and he had some upperclassmen too. So he had a rotation of about 10 or 11 guys, and it was crowded. It was just too much. You couldn't get enough out of somebody because they were squeezing each other. You were trying to get them all on the floor, and none really got into a rhythm. None were really able to spread their wings. But when 2 of them, and if I remember right, it was Chancellor Nichols and Joe Courtney, when 2 of those guys transferred, it opened everything up. It settled the rotations. There were no longer any discussions about where to put this guy. Everything just fit. And that team began to blossom and grow, and then they went to the NIT, and then they won the SEC, and then they went to the NCAA tournament. And those 2 guys leaving helped. Now, again, it's not disrespecting Eli Wright or Xavier Stapleton. It is simply saying there is a lot of talent on this team. I wonder if a couple of guys leaving doesn't open it up and let things breathe a little bit and let the opportunities come a little more naturally to other players. If I look at the rotation for next year, there are still 10 guys I think should get on the floor. And that's leaving E.J. Datcher and Keyshawn Fizel off. I still think the starting 5 next year, and all 3 have declared for 3 guys have declared for the draft without an agent, so I assume they'll be back. I look at the starting 5 of Quindary Weatherspoon, Nick Weatherspoon, Lamar Peters, Reggie Perry, the 5-star from Thomasville, Georgia, and Abdul Adu, the center. That's my starting 5. I got Holman off the bench. I got Tyson Carter off the bench. I got the 6'10", 250-pound defensive specialist from JUCO, Jethro Shisumpa, off the bench. I got 4-star freshman Robert Woodard off the bench. And DJ Stewart, a 4-star freshman from, is he from Greenville, I think, or maybe Greenwood? These are guys that were going to struggle to get a lot of minutes. Now that Xavier Stapleton, now that Eli Wright are kind of going to move on, it frees some things up. I think it frees some things up. Talent is not the issue on this team. And good for Stapleton if he thinks he can, apply his trade elsewhere. I'll say this. Stapleton brought good things to the table. Good athleticism, good size. But he did at least 1 or 2 things a game that made you scratch your head. He did a couple things a game that made you scratch your head. For Eli Wright, he never did anything wrong. I thought he always brought it when he was on the court. He just got squeezed out. There's just too much talent, too much guards, and not enough playing time to go around. It happens. It happens in college basketball. You got 12, 14 scholarship players. You can only play 5 at a time. Not everybody's going to be happy. So good luck to Eli Wright. Good luck to those guys. I think Mississippi State's going to be in good shape next year. I think it tightens the rotation. I think it helps with clarifying where guys fit in. And I think Mississippi State is still going to be an NCAA tournament team next season. 2-minute drill. Number 1, in all sports, who is the most underrated Mississippi State player of all time? In all sports, who is the most underrated Mississippi State player of all time? Excuse me. I'm very sick. I'm playing hurt, but I'm a champ. All right, Land Shark, I'm a champ. I didn't go to Oxford. All right. Jeff Hart says, hey, is Ole Miss back cheating in recruiting? No, they're not. They're not. They're just faking it because their recruiting class is not even any good. They just got 12 commitments. So numbers-wise, they're number one in the country, and they're acting like they're number one in the country, and they're not. They're ninth in the SEC in average star rating. Like everything with Ole Miss, it's fake. This number one recruiting class in 2019, it's fake. Brett Pirtle, Michael Goller, Gator Thiessen, Robert Young. Robert Young says Robert Young. That's fantastic. Dylan Day, that's a good one. Micah Halfacre. Wayne Mackin says hike. Micah Halfacre with Dylan Day. I think I might like Dylan Day the best here so far. Caleb Ewells, that's a good one. Thank you, Bobby Richardson. I'm working on it. Nick Fitzgerald, Charles Bryan, going with the current player. Chris Relf, D.D. Lewis. Shane Power, says Thomas Loftus. Not a bad guess. Or answer. Excuse me, not a bad answer. Brandon Vincent, always a good answer for this. Might have been the key to that 2004 team. Downtown Cody Brown, says Flint Williamson. Baseball player, graduated last year. Always good. Always dependable. What about the left-handed point guard? That was Chucky Evans, I think you're thinking about. Chucky Evans was phenomenal. Nobody ever talks about Chucky Evans anymore. You might be right. That's a good guess. Good answer, I mean. Eris Williams, the most unselfish player on the football team, says Chad Mask. I agree. Don Smith, Darius Slay, Josh Robinson, Cody Brown. All right, number 2. What's your favorite all-time win over Ole Miss? You think about basketball, you can think about baseball, you can think about football. What's your favorite? If you had to pick one, what's your favorite all-time win by Mississippi State over Ole Miss? Certainly there are plenty. There are plenty to think about. You got 1998 when we went there and won the West on their field. The only time the West was ever won in Oxford. 1999 Egg Bowl. You got a bunch. 2013 when Dak goes over in overtime. And there it is, 2013 Egg Bowl. The pick and kick, that's the 99 Egg Bowl. 98 football, that's when we won the West. Just going to block somebody real quick. 2001 Egg Bowl against Eli, that was satisfying too. That was satisfying. Derek Pegues running it all the way back to win it. That was in 2007. Down 14-0 with 5 minutes left. Won the game. Coming back to winning baseball after being down 10-0. So my favorite is 1991 basketball. Cameron Burns hits 2 free throws with no time left on the clock. We go to overtime, beat them 84-80. I just loved it so much. I loved it so much. 55-20, Pegues Thanksgiving return. It was the day after Thanksgiving on Pegues, though. Number 3, what is the most overrated sporting event nationally? What is the most overrated sporting event? Terp, you look like you're thinking in there. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Kentucky Derby.
The Kentucky Derby.
Mm-hmm.
The horse race. I enjoy
Overrated.
the Kentucky Derby.
It's overrated.
It could be overrated, but I enjoy it. I wouldn't go with that as my number 1.
Who won it last year?
A horse.
Yeah, exactly.
The Masters, Alabama football, golf. Everybody's saying golf. No, I guess everybody's saying a sport. Anything NASCAR, anything soccer. I mean, specifically an event. Like the Kentucky Derby or the Masters or the Little League World Series or the Tour de France, an event. Super Bowl, the Masters because it's golf, says Drew Newell. World Cup soccer, says Bill Anderson. The World Cup is amazing. I love the World Cup, and I don't even like soccer. NBA Finals, NBA Basketball, FIFA Championship, Wimbledon. Ohio State-Michigan game is the right answer. Thomas Loftus. That's so overrated. Nobody cares. I'm not watching 4 quarters of that. Daytona 500, NBA All-Star Game. Is that really highly rated? I don't think that's really highly rated, is it? Number 4, who is the best athlete from your hometown? Who is the best athlete from your hometown? It's a good question, don't you think, Terp? Where are you from, Sewanee? Who's the best athlete from
I'm gonna go
Sewanee?
Gwinnett County.
You're going to take the whole
It's in
county.
Gwinnett County.
There's 2 million people in Gwinnett County.
I'm going to say Lou Williams.
Lou Williams? You
Lou
can't do
Will.
better than Lou Williams?
6th man of the year.
Can't do better than sweet Lou
No,
Williams.
I can't. Other than me.
Marcus Murphy says Tim Doss. Cam Lawrence says Abby Lauren. Bart Starr says Amy Hall. James Otis Doss, that's Point City. Peyton Hillis was on the cover of Madden. I know Peyton Hillis, Arkansas running back. Somebody says, I love you for loving the World Cup. Chris, I just love all sports. I love sports. Victoria Vivians. Donald Lee says Jesse Wall. Bernardrick McKinney, Gibbo Gibson. Dave Clark, Chad Mask. Dave Clark's from Shannon, I believe. Justin Griffith from McGee. I should have asked you to name your hometown as well. Derek Gerard, who I believe is from Caledonia. Terrell Buckley. Kelly O'Hara, starter on the women's national soccer team. Tyler Kolick. Wayman Hodge. Brian Dozier, Ethan Fleury. Jamar Shelton, West Point, best ever. Jamar Shelton wasn't the best ever from West Point, but he was great. He was great. Dave Clark and Guy Bush. Kylan Hill from Columbus. Columbus had some good ones now. Columbus has had some good ones. New England kicker Stephen Goskowski from Madison, Mississippi. Chris Jones, says Brian Sisk. Eric Dampier from Monticello, Mississippi. All right. Good stuff. Number 5. If you could take one holiday off the calendar each year, which holiday are you getting rid of? If you could take one holiday off the calendar each year, you just do away with it. It's over. It's no longer a holiday. What are you picking? I love it when my Shrekking crew looks confused. It's not a very difficult question. Landshark just looks stumped in there.
Landshark says any holiday that does not equate into a day off of work.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of agree with that. I might go with Valentine's Day.
Sean Barker says
Ooh,
Valentine's
actually, no,
Day.
Halloween.
Can I
Halloween.
talk?
Halloween.
Jay Hammer says Halloween. April Fool says Abby Lauren. Valentine's Day from Tim Lee. Halloween from Tanya Benny. Valentine's Day from Amy Hall. I'll skip Ginger Tuck's comment. Valentine's Day, Bonnie Williamson Gable. Valentine's is the correct answer. Valentine's Labor Day. Why are we getting rid of Labor Day? It's a day off. Valentine's Day. So it's between Valentine's Day and Halloween, it looks like. Which one would I get rid of? Both are easily get riddable. Valentine's Day and Halloween. I would say I would get rid of Halloween.
Halloween is the worst holiday.
Halloween's
By
stupid.
far.
It's
dumb.
terrible. Do you ever think about what is happening on Halloween? Just a bunch of people walking around the neighborhood with kids dressed up. It's really weird.
It's very
It's very weird.
weird. Terrible holiday.
Terrible holiday. What's your punk ass kids coming around my house? Let me know. I mean, no, not your kids. That's on here. I'm talking about kids elsewhere. I can barely afford candy for my own kids. I got 13 kids. I'm going to afford candy for these people. Why do y'all hate candy? I don't hate candy. I love candy. I'm pro candy. I'm just anti the whole Halloween experience. And Valentine's Day is nothing but, would Ron Swanson say birthdays were made up by Hallmark so they could sell cards? Valentine's Day is a completely made up holiday so you can send somebody flowers, and it's just propping up big flowers and big candy. That's all it's propping up. Hello from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Hello, Tina Louise Cobb. People have parties on Halloween. What does Valentine's get you besides a dinner bill? I'm pretty sure it got me my 4th kid. But otherwise, not much. Not much. I'm anti people knocking on my door, says D. Curtis. So, Brandon, who is the best athlete for your hometown? Brandon Walker. That's the correct answer for West Point. Point City. Brandon Walker. Zuber Park legend. All right. That was fun. I'm going to drop you podcasters off right now. Stay with me on the Facebook Live. Until next time, tomorrow we'll be back to talk about, I think Joe Moorhead's going to be on the show this week. I'll have an update for you tomorrow, but I think he's going to be on the show this week. Until next time, my name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to more Cowbell, the Mississippi State Podcast presented by SEC Country. So yeah. I would get rid of Halloween or Valentine's Day. I could be arguing, if we got together and we had a debate and we voted, I think Valentine's Day would win because, kids do get to have fun on Halloween. They do. And they don't really get to have fun on Valentine's Day. So kids would win out. I think if you did this nationally and we had a vote nationwide, Valentine's Day would be gone.
Yeah.
Because if you're single, Valentine's Day sucks. If you're but if you're married or have a boyfriend, girlfriend, Valentine's Day also sucks.
Yeah.
It just sucks for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to go out to dinner on a Tuesday and wait for 2 hours. Nobody wants to do that. Unblock me on Twitter, says James King. I only block people if they make personal attacks. So you probably earned it. But what's your at on Twitter? I'll unblock you. What is your food bill a month? What do you spend when you go to the grocery store on Saturday? If you go once a week, what do you spend?
I don't know, like $100 maybe.
You're about to get married. You're going to have to be going to buy groceries or making him go buy groceries. What do you spend on a Saturday going to the grocery store? $100 a week. $100 a week. I spend $300 a week.
Yeah.
And it does not make it the whole week.
Of course.
It's awful. That's $1,200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much candy I could buy for $1,200 a month? We don't recognize VD in my household. No holiday, no problem. You should never ignore VD. All right. Get that checked out. Brandon likes to stick to sports because it's some crazy answers. Hike. I like the crazy answers. I like talking about everything. No, Terp's not getting married. Landshark's getting married.
Yes.
When's the wedding? July 25th? July. And you're just having a nice, cheap wedding in Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Oh, no, you're having a destination wedding because you're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Did you plan on having 4 kids? No, I did not. Happened. Jeremiah Body says, I can't deal with you. You're so petty. It is what it is. It's just life. Got my SEC Country polo. Look at that. That's a good-looking polo. Isn't that a good-looking polo? You guys don't have one, do you?
Nope.
They want the important people to have them first. So I got the first one because I'm Brandon Walker. Landshark, can we do something real quick? We don't ever do this. Can you just play the video of the walk-off again? I just want to see it because I wasn't paying attention the last time. What?
You want sound?
No sound. Just play the video. Nope. Up. Can you just make it? Can you play it again after that? Oh, yeah, look at that. I love that left fielder. I'm going to leave now. Look at the pitcher. Whoop! The pitcher.
Ole Miss in blue?
Yeah, it's a ridiculous blue.
Looks awesome.
It does not look awesome.
I like those.
Well, this pitcher's neck. Whoop! Man. Is that just going to loop for a while? Sure. I'm enjoying it. He threw a 2-0 pitch right down the middle. They were number 3 in the country. Look at that 3 by their number. That's ridiculous. Okay, that's enough. I think you blocked me because I said your sister is hot, James King. Yeah, that would do it probably. That would do it. Late to the show today, Hail State, Dickie Dellisbet. Welcome to the show. Were you surprised to see all the guys put their names in the NBA? Micah Halfaker. No, I wasn't. I think it's stupid not to put your name in the NBA draft. I think it's stupid not to go see what they want you to work on. I think it's stupid not to go work out in front of NBA scouts. You can come back. If you couldn't come back and these 3 guys decided to go to the NBA draft, yeah, that would be stupid. They're not going to make it. But the fact that you can go, train, work out, talk to NBA scouts, get some feedback, and then go back to college and work on what they told you to work on, do it every time. Did you ring the bell today? Well, Landon Miles, you're going to have to show up on time tomorrow. You're going to have to show up on time tomorrow, and then you'll see if I ring the bell. I did ring the bell. I did. DeJuan Black commits to everybody. His recruiting isn't over. I'm not worried about DeJuan Black. I think Mississippi State's recruiting is going to be outstanding this year. It's going to be excellent. and the momentum is still there. And our spring game is in 2 weeks, and we're going to get a lot of activity on the recruiting front that week. I lost the signal earlier. Why is Bryant transferring? He didn't say, but could be so many issues. It seems like he's had nothing but issue after issue since the season ended. So he's got 1 year left, and good luck to him. Why didn't you come on after that big 2-run home run? I don't know if you can hear, but I'm legally dead right now, but I am fighting through it. So I was sleeping the whole. Plus, I was watching the Masters. Like, I was listening to the state game online, but I was watching the Masters, so I didn't even see the walk-off. I heard it. I didn't see it. Brandon, are you going to the spring game? I think so. I'm going to try. Simmons is going to destroy that kicker when we play Florida. Abby Lauren. It's possible. Simmons is one hell of a football player. Packed house for the Grove Bowl. Oh, why didn't I get that picture up? I should have. Did you see the spring game attendance for Ole Miss's Grove Bowl? It was, how many was it? It was 11 people. 11 people were there. I swear there were like 11 people in the crowd, which I don't understand. It's the only bowl game y'all get to go to this year. I don't know why. I don't know why you people wouldn't go to that. Are you looking it up? Google Grove Bowl attendance. Look at that. Look at her face. Yeah, she's.
Wow.
So a lot of people dress like aluminum, isn't it?
There's nobody there.
There's nobody there. They're eating. What do you mean they're eating?
Could be before the game. They're eating like nothing's happening. Like before it started.
First of all, let me tell you something. In a press box, a football press box, they're always eating. They eat the whole game.
She knows that.
Yes, they do. I only cover games so I can eat. Pre-game and halftime? Okay, all right. That tells me you've never covered a game in the press box. Because you... What happened?
You just got roasted.
I did?
The mic was off, but you just got roasted.
Okay. Why is Ole Miss's administration so dumb? Why schedule a spring game when none of your sports teams are in town? Thomas Loftus, I don't know. That's a huge question. How much time you got, buddy? Did you see that ESPN has Mississippi State football favored in 10 of the Bulldogs' 12 games? Well, that would fit my 10-2 prediction. I think we might be 11-1. I'll have to look at it. Do you like the 3-star quarterback Moorhead landed and got a commitment from? He is a 4-star quarterback on 24/7. The fact that he hasn't been rated by Rivals and Scout has dragged his composite ranking down, but on 24/7 he is a 4-star. Garrett Schrader, I love him. I look at him, I think it's Nick Fitzgerald playing high school football with a little bit better arm, a little bit more arm talent. Or at least further along than Nick was when he got here. I don't know if more arm talent's the correct way to put it. Watch his film. If you watch his film and don't come away excited, you're not human. Because I watch his film and I'm ready to start football season right now. Speaking of Ole Miss's administrators, is Bjork still the AD or is he the women's basketball coach at Louisville now? I don't know. I hope he's the AD at Ole Miss forever. He's brought nothing but last place finishes and probations to that program, so I hope he's the AD forever. Last place finishes, probation, and weird looking jackets. The Ross Bjork era. Our men's Tennessee beat Ole Miss in Oxford this weekend. Lynn Rhodes Gilmer, thank you. All right, you guys ready to eat? Hungry? Okay. So I will hopefully be back to 100% tomorrow.
Doubt you will.
Why did you put up 2 graphics at once? You did. You had the B. Walker SEC graphic up, and then you had another graphic over the top of it.
Ooh.
I'm looking at it right now. Look. No, it went away right.
TriCaster error.
Okay. All right. We'll be back tomorrow to have fun. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been watching more Cowbell. I don't know why I'm pointing at you. The Mississippi State Podcast presented by SEC Country.